here's my planner for the year. I love it. I think the most important thing to know about it is that I don't use it for planning. I don't use it to figure my life out. This is what I use for working things through, for figuring things out, and processing through paper. All of my project planning, the big picture stuff, the daily tasks, it's all done digitally. I use Google Calendar, I use Notion, and I've got a team of people that I work with. And so I've got all of that set up. This is how I am processing on the day-to-day, looking at my week ahead, trying to wrap my head around the stuff that needs to happen, and paper is the way that I do it. I have a take a note planner and I love it. It has been so much fun. And I think the thing that I've always been torn with planning is I've got like a creative side. You know, I'm an art journaler. I like to make art and collage. I'm also a memory keeper, so I like to document. And then I also found so much value in looking at past planners and using it as kind of a documentation of my life in the tasks that I have to do. I think we can tell a lot by the stuff that we're choosing to focus on, and they're my favorite. You know, like I'm happy to throw a journal away, but a planner I'm a bit more attached to. So I've got like all of those three things happening within me, and I can't use more than one planner at a time. I've also found that I can't merge them all into one, but I think the way I've been using this just to make myself happy and to use it as a processor it's been really good for me. Okay, so take a note. This cover, this paper is Get Messy art paper. And I haven't even glued it down. I've just kind of wrapped it around. This is a gift from a friend. This is my word of the year. And it just looked so beautiful. And I didn't want it to be plain. And so I quickly put it all together, put washi tape on this, and then put the cover over. It is getting chunky. We're halfway through the year. And yeah, it's getting chunky. You can see the spine is having a fun time. But it's working well so far. These little date labels I've had for 3 or 4 years now. And it's from an Etsy shop that I'll put in the link below. I love it. It's vellum. They always end up looking pretty rugged, but they work nicely and I enjoy them. Opens up to this. This is a photo of my little family. I'm not going to show my son, so I won't show you the picture. But it's like waiting there for a time where I can use it. But this is the best sticker in the world by Claire Tudor. It's amazing. I've got this everywhere. Like it's supposed to go on your window. And I've got a few on my windows, but this one is sitting right here. Then I've got my homeboy, the slug, which is Nackt und Stolz, which is German for naked and proud, which is, you know, like in German, these little guys are called naked snails. So I love this. This number is, I have started, well, not started, about like 5 years ago, I decided to count all of the journals that I had finished. And ever since then, I have been keeping track and stamping the number in there. So that this guy's number 416. Front page, nothing happening. This is a work in progress. Like I did not clean this up before I'm opening it for you. But I basically used this as a way to see like what countries we're in, the people that are visiting. You know, we are immigrants. And so we have a lot of people visiting our houses, like always has a guest, or we are elsewhere. And so I put that down. It's got kind of a rhythm to it, but not completely. I also put in pencil because this often changes. So like, for example, I'm not going to Copenhagen then, I'm going here and USA, like things are in flux. Okay, you can see some pencil underneath there. We were going to Italy now, again, unimportant. I like seeing this to see where we've been because it changes enough. I can see, a quiet month, like this was more of a quiet month, and this was a hectic month because we had 3 different groups of people visiting. Also have some kind of a color palette going, and that is with these. And now it's going to irritate me. There we go. Okay. So I've got pink for me, because it's my favorite color. Blue for my husband's favorite color. Yellow for my son's favorite color. I've got purple as a mix of us. You know, some way if you mix these colors will make purple. And then this like beige color, which actually really doesn't show up for when other people are visiting. Also not really consistent with that. Then on this side over here, I started tracking when one person in the family was sick. I started doing that at the beginning of the year when it was winter, and it felt like we were always freaking sick. But we're here now, and we haven't really been sick again, so we're not really sick. So tracking that, no. I have got a separate planner that I'm using to track my health. So these trackers, they never seem to work for me. What I will do when I finish this is I'll go back and I'll add like any big things, you know, as an index page. That'll go there. But tracking, you know, not going to work for me. Month. And there you can see our colors coming out, like yellow, my kid was on holiday. Then we had people staying over. Something happened with T. T is my partner. I also have the Get Messy season over there. So every month, the art community that I run has a season. And so let's see one. So I put them all there already, and they fit quite nicely there. I use the Canon Selfie printer, sticker printer, which is exceptionally expensive, but it fit perfectly, and I was lazy, so that goes there. Once the month has finished, I'll add a picture that summarizes the month, or that I like the most, or that makes me feel happy, or whatever I really like, what I want to do. Something that I got into the habit of doing last year that I really loved, and that was honestly like my favorite routine or ritual that I've gotten into, and that's doing monthly reflections. And so I started off doing those with a bunch of questions, and eventually it was just like things that happened, things that made me feel nice, you know, like I found myself, you know, it had all these questions, and then I just went, okay, what I want more of, what I want less of. But for me, reflecting and thinking about the stuff that I want less of, I don't know, I would rather, instead of saying like I want less screen time, I would rather say more family time or more uninterrupted family time. You know, like, so those were my monthly reflections. You know, this is just the events. It's not every event, it's just the big events, not everything we did. I've also got a sort of ranking system. So the pens that I use those Tomboys, but the pens that I'm using are these guys. So this is my favorite fountain pen for planning at the moment. She's looking, and she looks like she could use a bit of love, but it's the extra fine platinum century, and then some number 13776. So I love her. She writes perfectly. I use her with platinum carbon black, which is waterproof. I find that ink works beautifully, like the flow, the thickness. What I've discovered with fountain pens is that the wetness of the ink impacts how thinly you can write, and so like that, just perfect for me, like no mess. If I am lazy, I'm going to be using this Pilot G2, and I love this pen too. Honestly, for me, like if I'm being totally honest, there's not much difference between this and a fountain pen for me. So these two both write similarly. Then I'm using this guy, and I'm using my all-time favorite brush pen, which we're now carrying in the Get Messy shop actually, which is quite nice. And so the ranking system of sorts, at least with the monthly one, is if something's very big, like, Messy May happened. Apparently we own a house not that big, but it was Get Messy's birthday, my company's birthday. We scattered my friend's ashes, which is not fun, but very important. That gets the brush pen. A little bit less important, like we'll get that. Something completely ritual, we'll get just the regular fountain pen, something that I'm doing often. So, like the book club, therapy, dentist, that kind of stuff. And sometimes I just make things a little bit fancier with this kind of style and this kind of style. I have a very set number of lettering styles that I love, and I just keep using them on repeat. I don't like adding too much color, and so I like to change things and mark their importance with the size of my writing, basically. Okay, July hasn't ended yet. So I'm not using these as a planning tool. I am using it as a, this is what happened in the month thing. Right, going into it. What I had wanted to do for this year is I wanted to have each of these little index tabs be its own page. So you can see how I taped that in. I ended up, April still got it. At some stage I just stopped because it was getting too much. It felt like a lot of pressure, and as soon as something feels like pressure, I'm not going to do it. So I just stopped it. I did like the idea of having this kind of title page, so I wish this planner had that. I think my gripes with most planners is that I like to have my month together rather than weekly, daily, blah, blah, blah. I like to see a month in one. So in my dream world, it would have January title page, month at a glance, and then dig into things. If this thing had a different layout, like if it was like the Hobonichi, then maybe weeks and then days. But yeah, so that was me trying to do it. I also like the idea of setting an intention in advance, because when I do my review of the month, I look back and then I give the month a theme based on reflective energy rather than energy I want to create. So yeah, I started tracking, like we were sick then, and so I started tracking that, but at some stage I gave up on that because it wasn't as important to me. I'm not showing up every day. If I am, I think I'm showing up kind of weekly-ish, and so if I have a meeting, for example, then I will start writing it down or sticking in a screenshot. But other than that, I'm just, it's a work in progress. It's process and figuring things out rather than planning in advance or reflecting back. This is more like an in the moment figuring things out thing. One thing that I've also started doing, because so much of my work is digital, because my team is digital, because I'm running an online community, I like making it tangible. So like gluing in the community theme for the month, the seasons. Over there, I put in this artist just because I've been wanting her to teach for so long. Screenshots of the team. Over here, I wrote a community post and I screenshot that in. Visitors to the studio. Little bits of things that happened. Gifts, that's kind of more the memory keeping thing. And so while I would like to put all of those little bits into here, I'm not doing that. I'm just doing what I feel like. Like this is my work focused, but like how work fits into life kind of thing. If I've made like a really cute branding image, then I'll put it in here. I've also given up the need to fill in every page. So I don't work on Saturday and Sunday, and so I'm not going to be using this to work, and so it's fine if it's open. Here's some to-do items. You know, sometimes it's just nice to fill them in. Sometimes life happens and then things just go absolutely balls up, right? Like my husband almost broke his back, and so that's what life looked like at the moment. I like putting in words from people that are profound or profane or just nice. It's like, again, it's taking the digital and making it physical and giving it importance and taking a moment to think about it. Filled with to-do lists. This is a beautiful gift from a friend. It's beautiful on the back too, and so I don't want to glue it in. But if I did, that's where it would go. At this stage, so previously I just had things that I really liked. You can see the evolution of this, right? You can see how it began as a mini collage with the focus, with the month. Then it became this way. Apparently I couldn't even add the month twice. And then it was like something from life, not just something beautiful. So I started this subscription, and so that's where that came from. And less and less effort, honestly. Or like caring less and less about it. So I think if you looked at my brain, I guess it would look a bit like this, where there's often times where nothing is happening and times where I'm just honestly trying to figure out all the things that need to happen before something else happens. Okay, over here we were in South Africa and I was neither working nor really journaling. And so that's completely empty. In the past, I've actually cut this out. You know, I'll just take scissors and cut that out and put washi tape just to keep it flush. But this year we decided to move back to South Africa. And so I like this, like, all these days, because this is honestly like the biggest time of our last 10 years. Like this is like the biggest month that I've had for 10 years. And it's blank and it's not in the planner. You know, like the more life stuff's happening, the less I'm in my planner. And that's totally okay. A little bit of documenting. Screenshots of Notion, because I catalogued the contents of our house, which I've been wanting to do forever. So now everything that we own is listed. Little bits of life. My partner was on SSRIs for years, so that's why it says yay for drugs. I'm not actually, I don't take drugs. If you take drugs, it's fine, but okay, that was the party. Song lyrics. Okay, this needed a big thing. This is us owning a house. I love putting friends' handwriting in here. This was a big deal because this was the 10th birthday of my company, 10 years of me making art journals, 10 years of me getting other people to do it. And the product samples arrived for me to play with as well. So like big week, so it gets a little tip in. I love business cards for this. bags, tickets, photos of my groceries. You know, these are the like very mundane, average things that I like to remember. Sometimes I'm working out protein and how to get my protein intake up. I would like to draw more. You know, I'd like to add more drawings into my planners. I did this workshop. So again, getting the workshop into here. I like adding dried flowers. The way that I add them is I just press them once they're dry, not before, because otherwise it's disgusting. I add tape to it. I think I did it yeah, I did it for this little flower. And I think there's going to be another one soon. There we go, my 4-leaf clover. But like, honestly, this is like a life goal achieved with this. So I'm writing down meeting notes. You know, this is me opening up South African company. I'm adding receipts, especially if they look like this, you know, like absolute nonsense. Adding pretty pictures that I found or bought, loads of flowers, and I think that's where things stop for the day or for the year. I think my favorite pages tend to be, I've got a specific one, this one. I love this one. I really do like it. I like announcing big moments like my sister and her partner moving in together. I like having screenshots from things that were made digitally. I like the difference of the type. I like the little to-do list items. This is what I want more of in my journal. I'm also trying to be more okay with, let's see, you know, this kind of thing, where it's figuring things out. I can't show you those because those are financial numbers, but I don't know, like I love this task dump. So even though I've got these tasks elsewhere on my computer, writing it down allows me to get a grip on it, right? Like even if I'm writing it again and again, I understand it. So yeah, that's how I'm using my planner for this year. Every year, honestly, it's looking different as I've been needing different things from it, but I feel very happy with my planning process at the moment. I am using it when I freaking feel like using it. I am putting the things in that matter to me in that moment, not things that I feel like should be mattering. I'm putting silly things in. I'm putting small bits, details of delight in here. And I'm also using it when I'm using this beautiful journal or planner. I'm only using it when I feel like it. I'm not forcing myself to. I'm not forcing myself to show up every day. I'm not forcing myself to write a top 3 because I don't work that way. I've never been able to keep a formal routine. I've been able to keep a loose routine, and following what makes me happy is like the way forward for me. So yeah, that's my planner, half the year. I'd like to film another one at the end of the year, maybe sooner. Let me know if you want to see that. I know a lot of people plan like it's very planning intensive, and I see the to-do lists and I don't know, I feel sometimes I can't relate to it. And maybe in the past I've tried to fit myself into what's already out there rather than to just do what comes naturally and what makes the most sense to me. And I feel like for the past while at least, I've just been doing what I feel like doing, and that's what's been helping me keep going. I love having a planner practice, and even when I am digitally planning, you know, either typed or with GoodNotes, I'm still keeping this and I'm still doing little bits of this because it makes me so happy. And this is one of my journaling, art, whatever practices that I do like looking back on, and I do like seeing things. Yeah.